Hello, everyone. Today we'll be having the same discussion on life's dream, and part two will be today, and we'll be doing that. And today also Punita joined with me to have this discussion. So, okay, Punita, what are the questions you have? More.
Hi,
Yeah.
Dilmi. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Today I feel like I still don't really get it because I feel like everything is so real to me. Maybe I need more explanation
Okay.
about life is a
Yeah.
dream because I
Okay.
I still feel like everything is so real to me. Yeah.
Yeah, Punita, I understand that, let me tell you the reason behind why you feel it's so real, you know? Like the reason is because because your thoughts, the speed of your thought is very high, it's very fast, you know. Due to that, it creates this illusion. What do you do by vipassana? It slows down that process because you're being very watchful, like you're just watching your thoughts. And then the speed goes down, 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 you know. And so that is the reason why you feel it's so real, Punita. Like if you take, okay, let's take that, if you have seen a firecracker where you do like in the festival time where you do something like that, you know. So like if you take the firecracker, like let's take like this, and if you do something like that, you can create circles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you really look at this like circle, is there a circle here really?
There is no circle.
Exactly. There's no circle. It just because of that, it just goes so fast and it creates a circle. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's exactly what's happening here. You know, it's just so fast. The thought process is very fast. And it creates this illusion, even though there's no real circle in here. If you really see, what's really happening is I can, it's like dots. I can create like this. That is the truth, you know. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here. Like that, it creates this. But in reality, it looks like a complete circle. But is there any circle there? No. It's a complete illusion. That's exactly what's happening here as well. Because of your thought process is so fast, you tend to take it so seriously. It looks so real. The illusion is being created in a very, very perfect manner. And if you take like let's take a thought just come into the place and then it just dissolves and thought comes in, dissolves like this, you know, like that thought process is very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take for a moment, this process just stops. Like, let me tell you, I told you in the last session, if you can remember, in every thought,
Mm-hmm.
underlying enlightenment resides, because that's the ultimate nature. That is that is
I don't get it. Like underneath
yeah.
every thought is enlightenment. Can you explain that thing a bit?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So Punita, I told you that because of this fastness, like because of this very speediness
Mm-hmm.
of the thought process, it looks so real. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is with Vipassana, you just start being watchful about your thoughts. And then this
Mm-hmm.
thought process starts slowing down, slowing down. And let me tell you that in every thought, underlying enlightenment resides. The reason is because that's your true nature. And that's why sometimes I tell people, I mean, you missing it is a miracle. Because in every thought, underlying enlightenment is there. You know? So, like, let me tell you, like, it's like for a moment, because your thought process starts slowing down, for a moment, the thought process stops. And then you start seeing enlightenment. You see the reality. It's not that when you say enlightenment, the people take it so big, you know, like, oh, like enlightenment, what's that? You know, but enlightenment is you see the reality as it is. Simple as that. You see the nature of everything. So what, like, it's like what really, keeps you, like, keep this enlightenment hidden is all these thoughts, you know. Like, let me take an example.
That means,
yeah.
why people who are in a meditation for very long time, like a few years, but they are still cannot, see the reality. What is the reason? Because meditation means stay in without any thoughts, right? No.
Meditation is being you're observing everything that is happening. You know, yeah, you're observing your thoughts, you're observing whatever happening. You know, it's being you're just being watchful, you're just observing. You know, for most of the people, what happens is when they are observing something, they hear and they start judging that. That's not meditation. Meditation is being just whatever the sound. Sometimes it might be creating really annoying sounds. It's about just observing, you know. And for the question you asked, Punita, like, yeah, there are people who just do this meditation for a very long time, yet still they are not really with enlightened. Yeah, I understand that could be the case because, like, it depends on person to person, you know. We don't know what's really going on inside them and what they're really doing, what they're really practicing, you know. And so we can't really say. It's just very individualistic. If I say really, sometimes I even told you, like, sometimes I tell people, like, this path, even though there's so much general information out there about enlightenment, it's very much specific to you. It's very much personalized to you. Your path is different to another person's path. Yeah. So that's how it goes. And so it depends on that person. We are not really sure what they are really doing. Maybe they are not practicing it right. You know, because when you say meditation, people have different ideas. And in reality, they don't even have what is true meditation, you know. And so it's like, let me tell another example. Like, let's take, there are clouds, you know, and there are so many clouds just going by. And for a moment, when there's a space between these clouds, you can start seeing the sky here. But it was like, just because there was clouds doesn't mean sky wasn't there. Sky is always there.
Yes.
That's how enlightenment is like. If you take these clouds are like thoughts, you know, and then the reality is the sky. But whenever you see a gap between these clouds, you start seeing the sky. So same here, same goes here. Do you understand?
Sometimes I believe that I could see my thoughts. Like sometimes I detached from the thought and I could watch the thought. Sometimes I go inside the scene. Why these two scenarios? Some only a certain period of time I could be aware, and sometimes does it the awareness go away from me, or I sometimes I can't really detach from the thought. It's very sticky. Sometimes I can watch the thoughts.
Yeah.
Why these things happen to me? And I believe many people can experience this.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
they cannot stay in that state to watch every thought. They will be sometimes will fall into a and I'm believing the thought is them, or you know, can't really detach from the thoughts. Sometimes I can really detach and watch the thoughts.
Yeah. So Punita, this really truly happens. This happens. Real detachment happens when you truly get disidentified with your mind. So if you really take, like, I remember when you were talking about that, I remember the Eckhart Tolle's awakening. One time he was very depressed at the time, and it was night time. He was in his room, in his bedroom. So he was in such a turmoil time. It was very depressing for him. And suddenly he get this thought. You know, he get this thought like uh, I can't, I can't, I can't be by myself. I can't be with myself so much. And at that particular moment, you know, he asked the question. Another thought comes up and asks, like, another thought just came up and say, if I can't stay by myself, am I one or two? And at that particular time, he got really detached from his mind, you know, and that is the time he sort of permanently got detached. And I really disidentified with his mind and realized that I'm not the mind, I'm the witness behind it, you know. So, so if you take until someone truly goes through a real awakening, they will definitely go back and forth. Sometimes you can watch your mind, and sometimes you'll be identifying with your mind.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like, people get identified with that state. Oh my God, I need to be in that. They decide that can be other thing. But if you take life as a duality, you know, like sometimes you could be here and sometimes you could be there. You know, yeah. And so if you take that for Eckhart Tolle, at that time, he got completely detached from his mind. And even the same goes with my awakening too. When that happened, I totally decided, I realized that I was never the mind, I was never the body, you know, and just the whole time, you know, yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. So Purita, last time I was giving some examples, I thought of giving another example to clarify it
Yes.
further. Okay, let's take, okay, have you seen this VR, like the virtual reality where you can,
Yes.
you can see that in shopping malls and places like that, sometimes this game areas, And I even recently tried that when I was in a shopping mall and there was this play area, and then I wanted my mother also to experience that because I could teach her something afterwards, after she experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I could say, Purita, what's really going on is, imagine you're wearing that
Mm-hmm.
VR glasses, whatever you call that. And you're wearing that and you're watching something. You're watching the whole thing. And then let's take that you are in the movie. Have you watched Tangled?
No, but
What is the movie
I
that you have?
I watched once like this in a mall, shopping mall, like
Yeah. Do you have
something.
any movie
Yeah,
Disney movie that you have watched?
not movie. It's just a 10-minute show. I watched
Oh,
some
okay.
like
Yeah,
the
nice.
birds is flying in front of me, and then we are sitting some like roller coaster things, and then we are moving like that. I
Okay.
really feels like from the seat
Ah,
I'm sitting, I
yeah.
experience like I'm moving somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm, that's nice. So, yeah, even the person also like in that particular shopping mall, he has also wanted to put something roller coaster. But then I asked for something else. I just could select other things. The roller coaster is the one which is like default for these places. So I don't know. I might try something else. And so I tried something like, okay, so let's take Punita. You're wearing this,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're having some visions. Let's take, let's take dinosaurs. You're in a place, you're in a park where these
Mm-hmm.
dinosaurs are there, and you're watching there. Then you can see there are so many dinosaurs coming and all that. And then like if you have Jurassic Park 1, let's take that you're in that particular movie and you're watching that. And imagine you've been watching this for 30 years in a chair, which is being completely changed. You don't know that, you know. And then you have been watching this for 30 years, and then on top of that, now you're getting like obviously, if you know that when you're watching a movie, you're already getting identified with the characters. Sometimes you become the actress, the main actress, and then you start crying, you start laughing and all that because you're identified with the character. Imagine you're watching this for 30 years without even you moving. You're in a completely different reality, a very long time. And you will forget even whether there's another reality. you know. In fact, you will start seeing, oh my God, dinosaurs coming in so real. And then you will definitely get identified with the character in this VR. Maybe there's like if you did Jurassic Park 1, there's a girl and a boy. You might take the girl's character, I don't know, whatever the character you get identified, then you just watching it. And it feels so real and all that, and you're feeling emotions and everything. So let's take one time
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, you know, and your hands get like loosen up from the chains or whatever, the locks, and then you put this VR out, and for the first time you start seeing the reality, what was really going on. And this is another way that I wanted to show like enlightenment, how it would look like. We just remove the VR and we start seeing the reality.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what's happening here. But like in this example, there's another, at least like someone to like remove the VR and someone like watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But in enlightenment, there's no one like that. I mean, if someone like really take this story, then they will again think that there's another person somewhere. Like, no, there isn't any person. For example, like if you think you want to realize the truth, the moment you realize the truth, Punita needs to dissolve. Either Punita needs to be there or the enlightenment. So even for a moment, for a second before Punita dissolves and then the enlightenment is just there. and you become the whole. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's another example I wanted to give so it clarifies further. But in this example, only thing is there's no true, like there's no another person just watching a VR or anything like that. Just you just see that, oh my God, I was watching a VR the whole time. You know, this VR is not the reality, but just I was watching it, but it felt so real. Because if you see the VR looks very real because wherever you look, like if you look up, you start seeing up. And if you see down, you start seeing down. I remember I was like when I was doing that in the shopping that area, the game area, like I was like looking at all the areas and that shows if I look up, it looks up, you know, and that was very interesting. And I remember I was looking down and I couldn't see my legs at that particular time. And that felt so real, you know. Yeah.
Does it mean like something we imagine or desire, we create in a thought first, whatever we want, and then it's become reality. So, uh, but it doesn't happen immediately. Whatever I wish now happen in the next moment or next moment. Continuously, mind has so many thoughts and it's create.
Mm-hmm.
Does that you mean? The show is like created in the thought form first and then become I mean reality means whatever I can see hear become image.
So, Purita, I could say it exactly like the reason why you are in this illusion is because of your desire, just like you said, you know. And in a way that the universe loves you so much, whatever you desire is being given to you, you know. And it's like you are going in this process of life after life because you still desire something. You know, let's take
It's
someone die, and then the person is really attached to the person, the partner, and she wants him so badly, and she will manifest that in the next because because she take it so real, you know. But if she ever sees that it's never the reality, it was just an illusion, she will never get identified with it. You know, sometimes even they realize, like sometimes people are shocked that how come they realize people are so not, how come they don't have desires? The reason is because like, they see the truth of it. You know, they see what's really there. There's really no substance to this. You know, like if you take this phone, like when you see that there's no substance to it, how could you get attached to that? It dissolves that desire. So for the question you ask, you know, like you said that, so like, of course, that desire is the very thing which keeps
I
this illusion alive. Like you go after that,
I
you know,
feel
and you
like
get another, yeah.
we are having a thoughts like the thoughts create the images and whatever we hear and everything, and then from there we create another thought because whatever we see we judge the things or we create another thought and that thought becomes reality. It's become like a cycle. Keep on we see or hear something and then we create a thought about it and then that thought maybe create another reality which we seeing. And if you call it like a movie, then this movie is like a going on without
Yeah. Now you're in the process of creating your next movie, you know.
yeah, by my thoughts,
Mm.
and I'm in a process.
Mm.
At the same time, I'm watching the thing, and then I'm creating. So the creating part and the watching part is together, hand in hand, like going on like that. Is it like how we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
cut?
yeah.
Is it the only way is a meditation? Like to break it and realize for a moment, give a pause to it, like otherwise we can't really see the truth, right? What is the way we can see the realize the truth? Like, I mean, realize this is a dream, like because it's keep on going on even in the sleep. There is some thought process are going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
Yeah.
don't really stop for a moment. It's
Yeah,
really like
if it stops
working.
for a moment, Punita, you get enlightened, you just see the reality as it is, you know. So, it keeps on for how you can slow down the process is a good
Maybe the
question. That
step
is what you
one,
call
like we have to
vipassana.
slow
That is
down
what you
first.
call vipassana, when you become watchful of your own thoughts
Mm-hmm.
and of your own actions and everything. You're being the watcher. You're not the
Yeah.
doer, you're being watching everything, So it starts
I think
the
I got
process.
disturbed when I really watch. Like whenever that is the reason why I'm here, I think, because at least certain moment I got a chance to watch it, like witnessing, oh, this is my thoughts. Okay, it's not me. At least for a moment, and it gets slowed down. Not then I will get disturbed, and I become curious, more curious. Oh, there is must be something because it's so different. Yeah.
Exactly, So when you're doing vipassana, like this thought process starts slowing down. Vipassana, in sense, once you start seeing the birth of that thought, and also the dissolve, how the thought dissolves as well. When you practice that very intensely,
Mm-hmm.
it starts slowing down. If you take, for example, for me, I remember I quit my job in 2019. And then after like few months, I was like thinking, I want to do this full time, like seeking. So I started seeking full time, and I was just was trying to do like I sort of had a retreat for 1 month's time. I remember I was just completely very much intensely doing this full time. I could say maybe 1 month's time. I was doing self inquiry. I was reading books on like spirituality. And at the same time, I was meditating and I was doing contemplation and things like that. Truly, like I remember I was doing an intense meditation, like that I normally give that, like that's very intense meditation. I remember I was doing that meditation for 7 days, and it was very powerful because whenever for maybe 1 hour I do the meditation, even during the daytime, it reminds me of the same meditation. So I was sort of like 24 hours in the meditation. Like I was very intensely doing that. And at that particular time, what really happened was my thought process is slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. For a moment, it stopped. And then you see the reality.
What will happen
And
after seeing the reality? Will you feel like very disappointed to have such a dream for? And I don't know whether I can ask this or not, but
no, it's okay. Like when
yeah,
at
if
that
I know
particular
and
time,
I suffer because of just a dream, then maybe it could create so much disappointment. Why this many years
no, I
and
didn't have disappointment in it. It was like I couldn't believe how I missed it for 28 years, honestly, because it was so simple. It's like I was like, oh my God, it's so obvious. It's just so simple. And that's how it was the whole time. But for 28 years, I felt like I was living in a very, very upside down. I wasn't really truly like knowing what's really going on, because I was like identified with Dilmi self, and I thought everyone else is separate, which is not true. Yeah, and that particular moment, Punit, I would say I
What do you
neither felt
mean by
happy.
ups and downs?
It was like I felt like I was living my entire lifetime. If you take, right now, I'm standing, my head is up. I feel like I was living other way around the whole 28 years, because I was like, it's like the true reality is like this. But I thought it's this. I was thinking the complete opposite way. I was seeing the reality in the completely opposite way. The like, if you take the reality that I thought as Dilmi, I thought it's just I'm separate, but in reality we are connected.
Yeah, these things I even don't really get it, because I still identify with Punita. Punita is here and everyone is there. It's like I don't really get like we all same, or Punita is still here, then I couldn't see oneness. If Punita disappear, then I could sense the oneness. But as long as Punita is here, I couldn't really. Yeah.
But this Punita, like the Punita that you created is a complete illusion again. And again, it's being created by your own thoughts. You think I'm this and that and this and that and all that. That really, those thought processes create that illusion. In reality, there's no true self as such. This, when someone hears this, what kind of a nonsense is that? Like, people might take it in that way. But like, okay, let me tell you, let's take, can you tell me, Punita, can you explain, can you tell who you are without using any of the past data?
I couldn't.
You can't.
Yeah, someone says that my name is Punita, like my mother.
Someone has imposed that, yeah.
Yeah, Punita. Before that, I'm not even Punita. Then after I born, I identify with the name. Name is the biggest thing, like a name. Oh, this is Punita. So,
and then your parents, your parents,
they are my parents. Okay.
And
my
then now
world
you might
become parents and then family.
Yeah.
From there, after that, school, friends.
Exactly.
Then I create a world.
Yeah. And then also then you have these figures, like these, again, more identities, like I'm an honest person, I'm a vegetarian, and then you could say I'm a truth seeker, more comes in. Those are nothing but identities.
Yeah, I must get enlightenment. That is another one.
Sweet. And honestly, I believe like if everyone is looking for that Punita, everyone wants to become the whole, but they use it different, limited ways to become the whole. Someone could be like having sex with so many women, like so many people, so that they're trying to become the whole. Someone could be eating so much food, so they try to like become the whole. And then someone could be earning so much money, like accumulating so much money to become the whole. And then another person could be creating a family and one child, two child, three children, and then it goes on. And like if you take all these ways are very much limited way to become the whole, but in reality, what everyone longing inside them is to become the whole, that connection deep inside, and that's why, like, if you take love is so powerful, and whenever we are deeply feeling love, we did get tears, because that's the truth. Truth and the love just goes hand in hand, quite just similar, because love is nothing but you dissolve and you become the whole, and you see the separation. The separation was created by your own mind. And sometimes I tell people that your mind is like a prism. What does a prism does? Prism is which you take the sunlight, and when you go through the prism, it creates 7 colors. You're a teacher, so you might be teaching this to students, and so that's what exactly the mind does. It's just the oneness. The whole time it was the sunlight is the whole. But the mind creates this division. I'm Punita, this is mother, this is whoever, and then this is Brian, like whoever, like you just, then you create this division. And not
Does
only
it
that,
mean
Punita.
Does it mean everyone here, like I have one world, my father have a different world he created by him, mother created a different world. Sometimes when I spoke to people, like when I speak, then I get influenced by their world. And then whatever my mother say, I believed, oh, this is how the world, I pick it up from them and create my own world. And we nothing is like really comes from me. Sometimes everything comes from since I born, like whoever influencing me, like a parents, like friends, and I just collect from the people and create my own. Right?
So what's your question?
Yeah.
So Punita, let me tell you something. As a truth seeker, don't worry about what other people, what's going on in their lives. How they think, what's really going on, how their world look like. Because in reality.
But I got disturbed. Otherwise, I must sit down in the room for 24 hours or for the rest of my life to realize the truth. Because if I step out from my room, I got disturbed. Because they give some ideas. The world keeps give me the ideology, and I can't really find a aloneness to really go into me and see the truth. I always like even step outside the room. I meet one person when spoke to the person, then I got so much idea and so much, it's creating another thoughts, again thought, different thought. How to like live in the society, but at the same time I can be not believing it or not identifying with whatever they are saying or anything. How it is possible for us?
What do you mean? How to not get influenced by?
Yeah, something like that. It's like very difficult when we are living in the society with the people, and at the same time to seeing the truth. It's like difficult for us.
Pulita, it's because there's no true self inside you. So like it's like there's no rigid Punita inside you. Okay. So anything can come and influence and like come and
Anything come
influence.
and go. It's like
Yeah,
empty
yeah, it's just
vessel. It's like
exactly.
empty
Yeah,
vessel
yeah,
is
yeah,
here.
yeah. So that's why I again and again, if you can remember, one time I even told, I think I even was doing some in one session. Like that's why sometimes I tell people, as a truth seeker, you know, do you see this?
Input, process, self, or no, output.
You know, if you can remember, I always emphasize on this. You know, I ask you, like, make sure that your inputs are very conscious material.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when you're reading, when you're when you're watching a movie and all that, like as a truth seeker, it would be quite helpful if your inputs are quite conscious. So I could say that that 1 month time, not only 1 month time. Why do you think I was kept on 60 plus books? I think maybe 70. Like I can't even remember. I haven't counted. Osho books I was reading, 60 plus. I was constantly, that was my input. Because I realized I don't like, even Jim Rohn said something very interesting. He said, you are the average of 5 people that you hang out with, you know, and that's so true. Because they're so true, Punita. They're inside. So you become whatever you get influenced. That's how it is. You know, that's how the reality is. And like if you take, you are hanging out with people who are eating junk all the time. You know, you're just having some 5 friends, and those people go to places like all these fast food places, you know, like McDonald's and places like that. And it's very likely you also get influenced and you also get to eat those food. You know, that's how it is. So, so why do you think I was reading 60, 70 plus books of Osho? Because I realized that there's so much. If you take the society as a large, it's so big, like it's so much influencing. So I couldn't really find real conscious people. So what I did was I was constantly injecting these inputs into me, all these realized beings, you know. And I felt like I was hanging out with these people because I was constantly putting that in me. And then you eventually become that process output. And then you become, it wouldn't be so difficult. And then you wake up, like, because you're constant, you know. So that's
What
like,
do you mean by the feedback there? The feedback.
so, you know, like whenever, so for example, okay, let's take, you have a friend.
Okay.
You have a call with that particular friend. Okay. And then what happens is the process and then the output. After the call, you feel so bad. You feel literally like so bad. You know, that's the feedback.
Okay.
And then that gives you feedback. Oh my God, this really drains my energy. This takes out my energy. This takes my spirit away, you know. That's how the feedback. And then you can adjust the inputs afterwards. You can either take a little break from that. You know, maybe you just like, you know, I mean, I sometimes coach you on these things, you know, and those are your feedback. You know, for example, I was reading a book of Eckhart Tolle, I remember, and then the output, I literally felt the energy of that book. I literally felt so conscious, and I felt like everything becomes still. Why? Because I got influenced by that energy. And then the feedback. I read the second book, feedback. I read the second book of it, New Earth. You know, so yeah. So like very important, Punit, as a truth seeker, your inputs are quite,
So it will bring us closer to the truth.
it will be very supportive if you can create that environment around you, you know. I remember like, I wasn't really creating it consciously, but my environment created itself like very different way when I was about to like, you know, it was like I sort of, I didn't have much contact with the society. I told you like my phone was on the airplane mode the whole time. And so I sort of had an environment that created in this manner that I'm teaching it to others now. And so as a truth seeker, it's very important you safeguard your input. You know, for example, like you go and watch a real horror movie. Come on, like, you know, that's not a real true, like a good input that you're supposed to be putting in because you have the control. Why you go and watch something horror? You know, you can do something different. So it's important, Punita, like like some of the things, that's how it is, you know, because since there's no true Punita, like a rigid Punita, because like if I ask, where are you? Like, who are you? Like, there's no true like rigid person there. Yes, you are getting influenced by these things. If you really listen to even your thoughts very carefully, you would be hearing your siblings talking, you know, your parents, your father talking, your grandmother talking, your grandfather talking inside. So, like, that's how you've been created. So, influence will definitely happen. You can't really help it. But if you can, what you can do is you can just like have some control over your inputs, you know, like, yeah.
What it means to be it intuition? Like intuition also another thought, or
Yeah.
it's not really a thought? Because sometimes I heard that we must follow the intuition or the heart, not the thought or not the mind. So why these things comes like even I realize intuition is so also looks like a thought. But what is the difference?
I could say, Pujita, intuition is not exactly your thoughts. You know, your thoughts are your conditioning. If you really look at the thoughts, which is nothing but the conditioning just repeating itself. That's why I sometimes say for your mind is like a grammar, like a tape recorder. It records things and it's playing itself. You know, but intuition is not that.
Okay.
Intuition is coming from your higher self. Your higher self means your godly self. And so you just get glimpses from that. And you know, it's like you're getting like sort of glimpses from there. You know, you connect to that. And I remember like one time I was having a session with, I had a pianist, you know, and she was like, she went for a concert. Sorry, not a concert, like a competition in Italy. And she won that competition. And at that particular time, she told me when she was playing, she was coming to me and telling that I was the winner and thanking me and all that. And so, and she was telling me what really happened at that particular time. She told me that she disappeared and she connected her, like she was like a vessel. The spirit was coming through her. You know, sometimes it was like she was very connected at that time with the spirit. So I could say that is what you call intuition, you know. where you're connecting with your higher self, with your spirit. And that spirit doesn't give you the same answers as your mind does. Your mind will be logically thinking things. Like when you're in a so for example, I could say let me tell you one example of my intuition, how it was working. And I remember I was listening to someone. I was listening to some lady over the TV. And when she was talking, like her energy is so, I can literally feel her energy. It's so powerful. And very, very truthful. I can literally sense that. And I was watching that, immediately I got goosebumps and all that. So like people were like really telling that she's just telling some nonsense and things like that. There are people who were debunking what she's telling. But then I immediately felt she was talking the truth. She's telling something which is very, she had some direct experience. So at that particular time I had goosebumps, and I felt so real to go deeper in her teachings. That is my intuition. That was not coming from my mind. The mind can't recognize that. That's why many people who are identified with their mind, very confused people. They are constantly very confused. But for me, when I listened to that, it was so obvious. I need to go deep in her teachings. And this is, as the truth seeker, 10 years back, or I could say that 8-10 years back. And I went deeper. I read every single book of her. And I was like going very deep in her teaching. So it was so powerful. And that is that was not coming definitely from my mind, because I didn't even have any trace of to see, because mind is nothing but your past. So mind doesn't have a way to go back and see whether she is a real person. No, like there's no information. There's no memory around her or anything like that. So it was complete intuition. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, Punita, I think our time is coming to an end. We will continue the discussion into the future. So, okay, then have a great day and take care.
Thank you, Dilmi. Thank you.